What a treat that scene was there, to have two of the most well-known martial artists and actors who participated in the Bruceploitation subgenre of films in the 70s in the same movie, going up against each other and later teaming up to defeat the bad guy. And we're talking about Ho Jin-Tao, Bruce Lee, who plays a cop in this film, and the now, unfortunately, late, great Bruce Lueng. I'm going to go with Bruce Lueng as far as the pronunciation goes. Siu Long Long, or also Bruce Liang. He went by those names and perhaps more. And yes, sadly, he passed away this month, unfortunately. And I thought it was kind of funny because sometimes my wife and I talk about some of these old Hong Kong actors when they pass away and she doesn't remember the name or she knows them under a different name. And she was not really a fan of the Bruceploitation films at all. It was kind of an affront to her. You know, she was such a fan of Bruce Lee himself. But she remembered him from TV. So Bruce Lueng had a very successful TV career in Hong Kong. He's for people my age that grew up there, they just remember him from a certain TV series. And then he made some really pretty good movies with Sammo Hung and Angela Mao. And then he kind of got into the Bruceploitation genre and also worked as a fight choreographer and made some other really good films. And then unfortunately, he decided on his own that he was going to go on kind of a public relations trip to mainland China. And there was some fallout from that. And it really sidelined his career until Stephen Chow brought him back for Kung Fu Hustle. And then he had a bit of a resurgence. Even that wasn't all, roses, as apparently he was waiting for some money that he thought was owed to him. But I don't want to dwell on the negative here. I just want to celebrate the life of the man and the martial artist, who many of us have probably seen in martial arts films. If you grew up watching them, you might not have realized he was in there if it wasn't sort of under the Bruceploitation banner of films. He was certainly in a few of those for sure. And this is really a good one. And it's on the the Game of Clones set from Severin. I reviewed a few films from here. And of course, this included the documentary, The Game of Clones, where he is interviewed. So it's a really good interview. He seemed like a really cool guy. And this one's a lot of fun. As I said, it stars two of the actors who were known to be in the Bruceploitation subgenre. So this is known as Iron Finger and also Bruce and the Iron Finger. Not to be confused with Bruce's Deadly Fingers, which starred another guy, Bruce Lee, L-E. Okay, totally different cat. Yeah, there was this idea that there was and you guys have seen this in many martial arts films, like a secret technique, a secret extra deadly technique that you can use, and you could, strike somebody. In this film, it's on the neck and kill them instantly. So that's the idea. In this film, they're going after the manual that instructs you how to use a deadly technique. In this film, the Iron Finger, Bruce and the Iron Finger, they're going after someone who's essentially almost like a serial killer, who's using a deadly technique to kill random people. And he may or may not be connected to organized crime as well. He is. I'm just going to tell you. So Bruce Lee, Ho Jin-Tao, plays a cop, and he's very good in this. It's a really good role for him. And he basically realizes that he's the one that looks at the bodies and says, this is not a garden tool, as the coroner thinks. This is somebody using martial arts. And he starts to make some inquiries. And there's basically two martial arts schools in town. One of them is run by Ku Fang, and the other one is run by, or at least has Bruce Lueng as a teacher. So he sort of tries to infiltrate both of them and get some information out of both of them, which gives us lots of fight scenes, because you can't walk into a martial arts school and say, hey, I want to be a teacher here, without having to prove yourself. So lots of good fight scenes in this film. And Bruce Lueng also did the fight choreography. So he might not have as much screen time as Bruce Lee in the film, but his presence is felt throughout the film. His stamp is on this film, and it's really a credit to his martial arts skills and abilities that the film is entertaining. Now, plot-wise, listen, they're not reinventing the wheel here. That's essentially the plot. Eventually, he figures out kind of who the bad guy is. There's also some weirdness, because it's a lower budget film, just some strange things. And I did watch this film back-to-back, once with the commentary, and then I watched it right after that with the commentary by Michael Wirth, who's really done a great service working on these films and contributing to the documentary and everything. And shout out to our friend Jeff from 101 Bronson, who actually went to an event in Germany that Cynthia Rothrock was also at, and he actually met Michael Wirth. So yeah, there's some weirdness in here. The director liked to show people's feet as they crept up on someone a lot. It went on for a while. There's also kind of a weird subplot about a necklace, because they find a necklace at the scene of a crime, one of the early killings, and the killer wears like a black stocking on his face, so you don't know who it is. So they're going around asking anyone if they own this necklace, and it goes on, and you know, a couple people are like, aha, I've got a necklace. And I mean, can people not have two necklaces? I don't know if that really eliminates you from the suspect pool. So they go to the well a little bit too much with that plot point, but it's really good. And there's some other weirdness. Ku Fang's character, you know, perennial villain from a lot of the Shaw Brothers films. He passed away last year, actually, but he plays the head instructor at this school, and he's actually has like a vow of celibacy, so he can perfect his deadly techniques. The problem is he has this sort of girlfriend named, I think her name is Lulu or something, and they describe her as a playgirl. Any man that comes across into her area, she starts hitting on instantly. She's got this, wears the sheer nightgown at her house, you know. So Ku Fang's character can't do anything about it, and he gets all like crazy-eyed, and he flies into a rage. So, I wonder who the bad guy in this is. You're not going to be surprised. I mean, it's not going to be like a mystery by the end of it. Eventually, Bruce Lee will go to Bruce Leung's school, and he'll see this dummy that they have, a practice dummy with all these different pressure points. And he kind of gets a little lesson on the deadly pressure points. And they get into a friendly fight, which turns real because Bruce Leung has another reason to not talk to the cop. It's kind of like a little MacGuffin there. Eventually, by the end of the film, they will team up to fight the bad guys, who are also involved in some human trafficking. And they do bring in another crew at the end, one of whom is played by Hoi Song Lee, who was in 36 Chambers Shaolin. He's the bald guy. I think in the credits he's like Bald Henchman or Mr. Bald or something like that. He's wearing a hat, you know. So you know he's got that beautiful bald head under it. And then when the hat gets knocked off, then he starts using the head as a weapon, you know. But it's very entertaining. You have fights that take place in junkyards, and at the end in this like trucking yard. So there's all kinds of henchmen in and around trucks, and people are doing jumps off of the trucks, and it's really good. It's great to see Bruce Lee and Bruce Leung fight each other, have fights, extended fight with each other, and then team up at the end. I mean, that's the main attraction of the movie. And just some Ku Fang is in it, Hoi Song Lee. I mean, there's really some good people in this. You know, again, plot wise, some bizarre parts, but it facilitates the action rather well, and the choreography is really good. Lots of Wing Chun, some street fighting, some really good kicking from everybody involved, especially Bruce Leung. The director likes to do a low angle, sort of a Dutch shot, as Michael Wirth explained in the commentary, where the camera is kind of tilted to build up the drama. He does that quite a bit. Yeah, there's some really good stunts in here. Some good fight scenes for sure. Now, on the Bruceploitation scale, yeah, it was called Bruce and the Iron Finger, and you have two guys whose names were changed to be, you know, Bruceploitation actors. And in the poster, you do have one of the guys, one of the henchmen at Ku Fang School, does wear a yellow tracksuit. Both Bruce Leung and Bruce Lee do wear red tracksuits at various times. And in the poster, they do feature that one henchman in the yellow tracksuit rather prominently. And I think he and a few other of the supporting players were in some Bruce Lee movies. But sometimes that's just a coincidence. You know, sometimes they really go out of their way to get somebody like Nora Mao or Little Unicorn or somebody who is known to have worked with Bruce Lee to be in a Bruce Lee film. They're really pushing that. Sometimes it could just be coincidental. You know, you got guys that usually played henchmen. You know, a lot of times they played henchmen in 400 movies. So it's coincidence. So where is this on sort of the Bruceploitation scale? Well, hold on a second. Let me show you this. This is the part of the book. There you've got Bruce Lee and Bruce Leung, Bruce Lee. Now, even though they're leaving two marks on the neck, this vampire here is from the other movie on this page, The Dragon Lives Again, where Bruce Lee fights Dracula, among many other people. That one is like a 10 out of 10 on the Bruceploitation scale. I mean, they're throwing the kitchen sink in that movie. I mean, you got a character playing the ghost of Bruce Lee. So, yeah. In this one, not as much. And I will say, they do point out in the commentary, Michael Worth points out in the commentary, there's also a nice round table discussion with some martial arts choreographers and filmmakers and things. Ho Jintao, Bruce Lee, really made an effort to improve his acting as he went on in his career, and he does a good job. So he very much wanted to be his own person. Bruce Lueng in this film does have some kind of mannerisms which may remind you of Bruce Lee, and he may have been inspired by that, but they're kind of his own thing. He's kind of doing it his own way. He does this thing with his fingers, since he's supposed to know like a deadly finger technique. He's got his fingers up like two pinchers a lot, and I really think it's kind of his own spin on things. So I'm going to say out of 10, this is like a 4 on the Bruceploitation scale, and a movie you can really enjoy for its own merits. So I'm not rating it a 4 out of 10 overall. You understand? That's just on the sort of the Bruceploitation scale. I would actually rate it a little bit higher than that. I definitely recommend the film. All right, let's get to the Dragon Grips move of the fight. I'm going to have to go with Bruce Lueng in this one. They both had some good moves, and maybe I should try to find something that they did together, but there's a scene towards the end that kind of surprised me. Like I said, they fight with staffs a lot in this film, or, this bamboo poles laying around. And at one point, he's just whooping on some henchmen in the final fight, and he actually just jams one pole into somebody's mouth, and he just, works it all around, and the guy doubles over, and you see a bunch of teeth fall out. I don't know. For some reason, I just got a kick out of that. So that is my Dragon Grips martial arts move of the fight for this film. As always, let me know what your thoughts are about the film in the comments below, and what are your thoughts about Bruce Lueng, and come back again next time for some more Martial Arts Monday reviews. Thanks.